Welcome back to Snake Prince Vlogs. I'm your host, Prince Elias, and we are almost finished with the update on my animals series. And again, this was inspired by Lady Tiz Exotics, my good friend Nicole. I saw her series and loved it, where she showed all her reptiles, and so I decided to do the same with mine, because it's been a minute since I done an update on any of my animals, or I spotlighted any of my animals, because I was doing, the reviews and stuff. So now it is the boas, all about the boas, man. And so we're going to start off with the very first boa I ever bought, and she's also the only female boa for right now. Maybe the only. We will see in the future, but for right now she's the only girl, and she's the very first boa I've ever bought or gotten, and that is Morticia. Now, a lot of y'all, if y'all been following my channel long enough, or if you follow me on Instagram, Morticia, I got her around 2018, I believe. I could be wrong, but she is growing. I remember when I still got a picture, I might insert it in this video, of when I first got her. She was smaller than an ink pen, or as small as an ink pen. I even had an ink pen sitting beside her when I got her, and now she is getting long. And she's getting a little thick, but I'm not going to make her too thick, because when it comes to boas, they're already slow growers, but I want to continue to slow growing, because as long as they're healthy, a healthy weight, of course, because this industry it has way too many obese animals, but we'll talk about that in a different video. And that says a lot coming from an obese person, but this industry has way too many fat boas if you look on Instagram and Facebook. And I ain't just talking about the breeder females, like even some males are just, you're beefing your snakes up too much and too fast to where they die early of like heart failure and stuff like that. Like some people have snakes that are supposed to live 20, 30 years, don't even live 10 because their hearts just give out. And so I learned to slow grow my animals in a healthy way. I'm not starving them, as you can see. She's a thickums, but yeah, so some people might see her and be like, wow, how come she's not big as this breeder's snakes? Because she's not a breeder snake. And because I don't want her to be obese and have heart problems. I want her to live as long as she possibly can. But she is getting big. She is growing, as y'all can see. She's not a little pin anymore. And she's always been a sweetheart. Always been curious. I've never had issues with her like one of the snakes I'm gonna put in this video. She's never had to snap at me. Now, she's always been vocal, like she'll hiss, but only when she's in shed. When she's in shed or about to be in shed, where the bottom part is becoming pinkish, reddish, that's what she was like. If I open her enclosure, she start hissing, I know she's about to go in shed, and I don't bother her unless I have to clean the cage, you know what I'm saying? But she's always been a sweetheart, always been loving, good disposition. I could give her to tiny kids. I've taken her to elementary schools and given her to like second graders, and she's just been very dope. She's as chill as Jimmy, and I love her for that. And so yeah, that is Morticia, and I really want to give her a boyfriend, but I'm gonna wait on that, because I really, my dream, not no time soon, but my dream is to get a motley albino. I just love motleys and I love albinos, and I would love to breed her to it in the future. The more I spend time with boa constrictors and owning boa constrictors, the more I fall in love with these snakes. They're starting to become my favorite species. Of course, everybody knows Jafar, my normal ball python, is my favorite snake. But as far as if people ask, what's your favorite species? Boa constrictors all day long. I would pick a boa constrictor over anything when it comes to the big snakes. Retics are dope. I've met a lot of people with retics. Burmeses are big puppy dogs, and I love them to death. But when it comes to the big snakes, boas are mine. I love boas. And I may in the future you know, 5, 6, 7 years from now, get a BCC, because all my snakes are BCIs, which are the smaller versions of boa constrictors. They're not true red tails. So maybe one day I will invest in a BCC, but for right now, BCIs is I'm biased. I love BCIs. They're great. She was sold to me as a Central American boa because all these boas have different localities and locations of where they're from, their genetics. And so I don't know the exact ones. Some people say, are they Nicaraguan? I don't know. She was sold to me as a Central American boa, so that's all I tell people. And of course, she's not true BCC. She is BCI, Boa Constrictor Imperator or Imperator. But I love her to death. She's amazing. And again, she was my very first boa constrictor I invested in. I had like 7 ball pythons before I decided to jump into the boa constrictors, because I did a lot of research and I felt like out of all the big snakes, the snakes that get real big, real long and stuff, this was the snake for me, for my personality, for my energy, for my lifestyle. Boas are my thing. So that is it. That is it for Morticia. Let's get Jimmy, the star of Creative Reptiles, especially the photography side of it, and then we'll get into the new edition. But be right back. All right, now it's time for the man, the myth, the legend, Sir Jimmy. So, story behind Jimmy is that he was given to me by my mentor, Kathy and Chris from Circle of Life Reptiles, and they rescued him from a very bad situation years ago, like over 10 years ago. They rescued him from a very fucked up, bad situation. He was like near death, skinny. It was horrible. They showed me pictures that they taken the day they rescued him. They brought him back to health, took care of him for some years, and now, well, actually in 2020, they messaged me and said, hey, we think we have a snake that could be a perfect addition for your company, for your business, Creative Reptiles, and we think that you guys will mesh well as far as, you know, pet owners and snakes, because they said he had such a wonderful disposition, so they wanted to rehome him. So they gave him to me for free, including his custom built PVC cage that they built themselves for him. And so he was a perfect Christmas gift, because it happened Christmas time of 2020, and actually when they wanted to give him to me, I had caught COVID, and I had caught the worst of the worst symptoms. Like, I really thought I was gonna die. It was horrible. It was a scary situation, and so he was like the perfect Christmas gift once I got over the vid and survived that ordeal, and it was just perfect, and we've been tight ever since. Jimmy really rejuvenated my love of reptiles. I mean, I was never bored of them, but it was like if I was starting to get stagnant in the love of reptiles, he woke that back up. And they were right. He has a perfect disposition. Even in shed, he is never vocal, never hissy, except for if he's out of breath, but never like defensive. He's always been a sweet, sweet boy. He's been perfect for educational shows. Kids love him. And like I said in my previous video, there was a time when I went to the grocery store and a lady walked up to me and said, how's Jimmy doing? And I was like, wow, you still remember him from when I took him to the park, the local park here, and let kids take pictures with him and hold him, and I got to teach them about snakes and give them information about snakes. And it was amazing. And it's amazing how big he has gotten name-wise in the city of Memphis. Like, so many schools know about him, so many models and photographers know about him. So people are still calling, messaging me saying, hey, we would like to book Jimmy. So he's become the star model and a perfect advocate and educational ambassador for snakes in general, not just boas, but just snakes in general. Jimmy has really set the bar. There have been so many people afraid of snakes that met him, and now they've either got an appreciation of snakes, or they now buying snakes and having them as pets. Like, there was this model, my good model friend, she had him for a photo shoot, and she was afraid, terrified of him, scared to death. But she went ahead and did the shoot, and it went well, it went great. But by the end of it, she fell so much in love with him that now her and her son have pet snakes, and they have their snake company. Because they plan on being breeders, but it's ball pythons, not boas. But they have fallen in love with snakes as well, all because of Jimmy. And he's just become a great ambassador for education and just in general. Just like he lets people know that there are good snakes in the world. No snake is a bad snake. It's all about understanding. It's all about, you know, trust versus fear and comfort. And so, yep, this is my Jimmy boy, and he is just a BCI, so I don't know Central American or anything like that, or like what locale, but because like I said, he was a rescue, so my mentors, when they rescued him, they don't have all the information like hatch dates and all that jazz. They just saved his life, brought him back from the brink of death, and they bestowed him onto me as a gift, and I am greatly appreciative of that. Like they just knew that we will mesh well, and we have definitely meshed well. And he is about, I want to say 13 years old probably, because I got him in 2020. So, and when I got him, he was like 10 or 11 years old. Like I said, his age is very iffy because he's a rescue, but we're gonna say he's 13 years old. And so I hope to have many more years with him. My nieces and nephews love him. If anything were to happen to me and I leave this earth before he does, he's definitely going to my nieces and nephews. They love him to death. He is amazing. He is a perfect boa constrictor in my eyes, as far as personality, as far as disposition, just in his story, his life story, how he went from almost death to amazing health. And he's never had RI issues ever since Kathy and Chris rescued him, and ever since he's been with me, praise Jesus. And knock on wood, we're gonna make sure we keep that way. He never had any bad diseases or viruses, so we're going to keep him as healthy and as alive as possible, because I want him to live a long time. He is amazing, and now he's back behind me, so I don't know if y'all can see his head, but let me go ahead and take him inside, because I did kind of wake him up. He was knocked out, and so I'm gonna let him go back inside, and then we will get to the very last boa. Some of y'all, if y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all know the series on this snake and what I'm going through currently, so we will get back to y'all with the last boa constrictor. So let's go. All right, last but not least, the baby of the family, the new addition, the definition of spicy noodles, the definition of danger noodle, or whatever weird names people give snakes nowadays. This is Hades, and he was labeled as of course BCI, but Colombian dwarf boa is what he was labeled as, and he was given to me by a friend who bought him and thinking he was going to be a sweet baby, and he's been a terror for them and their family, and they have small children, and so they were very afraid that he would hurt the children, which, you know, I've been bitten by him the first day I met him, and his bites don't hurt, but you know how, you know, parents got to protect their kids, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, you don't want them to try to play and interact with a snake that will, you know, pop them at any moment, and they're very unpredictable. But he is just a baby. He's super small, as you can see, very defensive. And so I've been working with him, hook training him, and of course I got these gloves. Last week I was able to pick him up from his enclosure and hold him without the gloves, without him biting or striking at me. He still got his eyes on me right now. So we did create a milestone to where he did not strike at me or bite me or try to bite my hand. So that was a good thing. And I've had him for about a month. I got him like at the end of May. So it's about to be 2 months, actually. Yeah, it's about to be 2 months since I've had him. And he is getting better. He is making progress, because he would strike all the time. He would strike if you walk past his enclosure, which none of my other snakes I've had that issue with. So he's just very defensive baby boa, because at this age and at this size in the wild, anything could kill them, eat them. Birds, everything is a predator. Other reptiles, certain frogs will be able to swallow him down. And so it's just mammals, so it's just like everything is scary to this little guy. But his name is Hades. And so I love him, and he is, if you can tell by the camera, I'm not sure because of the sunlight, but he is a couple of shades darker than Jimmy and Morticia. And that's not him going into shade, that's just his natural pigment. He's just a darker shade of them, which could be the Colombian, it could be the locality, who knows. And his eye color is very different. I don't think it's going to pick up on this camera, but his eye color, he has like a bluish grayish, whereas Morticia and Jimmy is a lot brighter, like a lot more brown-ish, where his is like bluish. And then he has way more spots. You know, boa constrictors have like spots and pigments along their skin. He has way more spots on him, especially the head, but all over his body than they are. So as far as localities go, you know, they're all the same species, they're BCIs, but his look is a lot different. And I would give it, give or take, he's probably 4 or 5 months, who knows. But because I didn't get the official hatch date, but he was given to me for free. And I'm working with him and his behavior. Like I said, we have made progress since I first brought him home. When I first met him, before they even asked me did I want to have him for free, he bit me and drew blood, but it didn't hurt. It, you know, the blood it just shocked me, but I laughed. And we've been best of buddies ever since. I fell in love with him that day, the day he bit me, because I was like, wow, you're the very first snake. No, he's not the very first snake. I got bit by a corn snake years ago, but he was the very first boa to ever bite me, because I'm so used to nice and chill boas. And so he gave me a run for my money, which is why I went to Walmart and bought these gloves for the $10. And I've been working with him ever since. We've been hook training, so he knows the difference between a hook means we're not getting fed, and not a hook means I'm getting fed. He's caught on to that a lot. And so he is mellowing out slowly but surely. By the time he gets to Morticia size, I think he's gonna be chill. He's gonna be amazing, and I will feel safe to wrap him around my neck, or safe to hand him off to a child. Right now, he is not being handed off to any child, not even my nieces and nephews. I want to work with him some more and get him less defensive. And the more he trusts me and the more I work with him, the better his disposition will be. But for right now, he's a little hellion on earth, but we'll work on that. So this is Hades, and that is it for my update. I've shown y'all all my collection, every animal that I have. I've shown y'all the ball python females, the ball python males, and now the boas. So thank y'all for this series. I really enjoy recording it and doing it, and we will have more reptile updates to go, more behind the scenes of photo shoots and school visits and educational shows, and of course the reviews. So smash the like button, subscribe, put on that notification bell, because you never know what we're going to be posting next, but it will be reptile related. And also, I got expo shows coming up. So I have Show Me Reptiles in Nashville in August, and then I might do Memphis Repticon this year. Still haven't decided yet. And then, of course, Tinley Expo, NARBC. I'm so excited about that one. I can't wait for that one. Man, just planning this trip, organizing this trip, from booking my train ticket to the hotels and stuff. I'm giddy. I'm excited. I can't wait for Tinley. So you will also get a lot of expo content, and hopefully when I'm there at Tinley, I can talk to some people that I love and follow and admire, and maybe get a couple of interviews. We'll see. Not going to make any promises on the interview part, but I'm definitely going to feature a lot of my favorite reptile content creators, and I hope to meet, and it will be a great time. So follow the journey. But that is it. I'm Prince Elias. This is Hades, and we are out. Peace.